Super FM, talking, questioning, sharing your experience, information, education, entertainment, news, instructions, advice on diabetes, high blood pressure, strokes, menopause, AIDS, pregnancy, sex.
Sex? Did you say sex?
As prescribed, take your medication, exercise, and diet. On 88.5 Super FM, tell a friend, call your neighbor. Casualty 911 is on.
Hey, time check. We have 9 minutes after the hour of 10 o'clock. If it's a Monday, like a beautiful Monday, like this morning Monday, Bell Lady, oh my goodness, Casualty 911 is on between the hours of 10 and of course 11. We might kick off a little late, but it's better be. What you say? What was he saying?
Better late than never?
Yes, better late than never. Okay? Yes, that is it. Of course, again, this morning here with me, Miss Wilson is here. All right? Miss Wilson, I take it that you had a wonderful week. I see you glowing, boy. I don't know what blessing that came into your life, or who's that man?
Hard work, Erlan, hard work.
Yeah, you glowing, boy. She's all in the red. You swear it's Valentine, boy.
You know.
Anyway, welcome, guys. And along with our guest is there, so she'll introduce her guest. She's no stranger to radio, but she's here. So good morning to you, Miss Wilson. Welcome.
Thank you, Erlan, and I trust you had a wonderful weekend also.
Amazing.
Oh, wow. Some persons are really blessed, I must admit. So good morning to everybody. Let me just say a warm good morning to all our listeners out there, those persons via Facebook and other medium. We would like to say a warm good morning to you. Today we have a very interesting topic, and our guest today, well, she has been on the program before. I can guarantee you she's very versed in her topics. And just relax and listen to our topic today. Let me just say this also. Just a few tips for healthy living, healthy lifestyle. Don't forget today, ensure that you drink a lot of water. A lot of water. Eat your fruits and vegetables. Don't forget to continue exercising. I know Carnival is up, so I know a lot of people have been exercising and ensuring that they eat healthy, but it's just not only the time for that. You have to do it throughout the year and ensure that you eat healthy amidst trying to fit into that Carnival costume. And if you're smoking, we're asking you to quit smoking. And if you're drinking, we ask you to reduce on the amount of alcoholic beverages that you consume, and ensure that you consume at very, very safe levels. We just want to ensure that persons are following these 5 guidelines to healthy living, because these are the 5 simple steps. As long as you can, maintain these 5 simple steps, I'm sure you can go on to do better and bigger things to ensure that you maintain your healthy lifestyle. So, without any further ado, I would like to, I would allow her to introduce herself again. And so, Fadia, introduce yourself to our guest.
Okay, so good
Fadia,
morning.
you hearing us?
Yes, I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Oh.
Are you hearing me?
Erlan, Father is not hearing us.
I am hearing you. Yes, I am hearing you. I am hearing you.
What is really going on? Can you hear us now?
I am hearing you loud and clear.
Oh, I think she's hearing, but I cannot hear her.
You all cannot
Very
hear me,
much
but I
so.
can hear you all. Yes.
So, in the meantime, whilst we're trying to rectify our technical difficulties, let me just say good morning to our listeners at M&C Drugstore, our listeners at Hotel Chocolat and the different hotels, market vendors, our caregivers, residents of Conneries, or persons who are just driving through the Conneries Sufer area that is locked on to Sufer FM. Good morning to you, and we hope that you can take some time to listen to our program. And we're inviting persons to call in because
730-5388.
Thank you, Erlan. And we really want to encourage persons to call in, and so on. Hold on, Romy's calling.
Right. Okay. So while we're at it, let's just take a short commercial, and of course we're gonna be back. All right. While we try to rectify
We
this
cannot get
issue.
Fadia.
88.5 Sufra FM presents Let's Connect every Tuesday from 5:30 p.m. with your host Reniata D'Souza. Also live on Facebook. Be sure to tune in as we present you with updates on local activities, events, businesses, initiatives, and upcoming opportunities for all. Let's connect every Tuesday right here on Sufra FM and online. Don't miss it.
Casualty 911, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. with the consultant. Health is not merely the absence of diseases. It is your social, economic, physical, spiritual, and mental well-being. Just imagine if you're on 88.5 Sufra FM, talking, questioning, sharing your experience, information, education, entertainment, news, instructions, advice on diabetes, high blood pressure, strokes, menopause, AIDS, pregnancy, sex.
Sex? Did you say sex?
As prescribed, take your medication, exercise, and diet. On 88.5 Sufra FM, tell a friend, call your neighbor. Casualty 911 is on.
The Sufra Foundation wishes to remind the public that Port Sufra is a port of entry to the island. To ensure close adherence to the ISPS, International Security and Port Facility Code, it was necessary to ensure that the standards and the management of the Sufra Foundation solicits the assistance of all vessel operators and owners who dock at the boardwalk jetty overnight to kindly remove their vessels before 9 a.m. daily to prevent unnecessary confusion regarding docking space and to accommodate all its customers' needs. Your cooperation is greatly appreciated.
.5 Sufra FM presents Let's Connect every Tuesday from 5:30 p.m. with your host Reniata D'Souza. Also live on Facebook. Be sure to tune in as we present you with updates on local activities, events, businesses, initiatives, and upcoming opportunities for all. Let's connect every Tuesday right here on Sufra FM and online. Don't miss it.
Casualty 911, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. with the consultant. Health is not merely the absence of diseases. It is your social, economic, physical, spiritual, and mental well-being. Just imagine if you're on 88.5 Sufra FM, talking, questioning, sharing your experience, information, education, entertainment, news, instructions, advice on diabetes, high blood pressure, strokes, menopause, AIDS, pregnancy, sex.
Sex? Did you say sex?
As prescribed, take your medication, exercise, and diet. On 88.5 Sufra FM, tell a friend, call your neighbor. Casualty 911 is on.
And of course, we're back. Can you hear me, Fadia?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear, Ulan.
All right, nice. So we can hear you as well.
Yes, wonderful.
Right.
Let us just say thank you to Romanas
Thank you, Rome.
for being here and being, ensuring that everything works well and is keeping abreast with everything that's going on, Ulan. And we'll be tied there. Yeah. So thank you, Romanas. Greatly appreciated for your technical expertise in a timely manner, very efficient and effective. Thank you. So Fadia, let me allow you to introduce yourself to the public.
Okay, so good morning once again. Thank you, Louisa. And thank you, Kalan. Kalan, sorry. And good morning to the listening public. My name is Fadia Tumble. I am a nutritionist by profession, working within the Ministry of Health, Wellness, and Elderly Affairs. So today I am here to promote Caribbean Nutrition Day. The Ministry of Health, Wellness, and Elderly Affairs joins the Caribbean region in commemorating Caribbean Nutrition Day, which was held on June 1st. That was on Friday. However, the activities continue throughout the month of June. Caribbean Nutrition Day began in 2004 by this institute, which is called the Caribbean Food and Nutrition Institute. That is a specialized center of the Pan American Health Organization. As you know, the day to highlight the importance of eating healthy and remaining physically active. So the annual observance seeks to increase knowledge and to create awareness of nutrition-related topics and issues that surrounds diet, nutrition, and physical activity, with the expected outcome of lifestyle behavioral changes within the general population. So this year, 2003, the theme for Caribbean Nutrition Day and Nutrition Awareness Month is Nourish to Flourish, Mental Health Matters. So the theme draws attention to the effort of nutrition and physical activity on mental health. So there is a link between what we eat and mental health. So this is why I am here today to promote that activity. And also, as I am at it, I just want to say on Friday this week, we will have a very huge but a huge health fair that is being held at the Center of Excellence, which is the Mikud Wellness Center at Mikud. So we will have various departments within the Ministry of Health. We're going to invite the preschoolers, the primary schools, the secondary schools, and the general population to come and see how nutrition, how food relates to our mental health. And we can well appreciate that we're coming out of COVID. And I know that this pandemic has created a lot of stress, a lot of depression, loss of jobs, and so on. So we want to get back on track and to encourage the general population to continue to eat healthy, to maybe get out of that depressive state. Because, like I said, food can create that sort of mood for you, right? So sometimes the mood we are in can drive us to make some food choices that may not necessarily be healthy. Okay? So, yes, so that is why I am here today. So I want to talk about two very important hormones. It's called dopamine and it's called serotonin. And they are both what we call neurotransmitters. And this means the chemical messages that carries the nerve cell in the brain as well to and from the other areas of the body. So both are considered happy hormones. So there are certain foods that you eat. For example, when you eat chocolate, right, it gives you that happy feeling, right? So when you eat chocolate, you have to keep it in your mouth, let your own body temperature melt that chocolate. And when you finish, it gives you a happy feeling. You feel in a good mood. There are certain foods that actually create that. And it is as a result of those neurotransmitters or those chemical messages. So serotonin is associated with happiness, focus, and calmness. And dopamine is associated with rewards and motivation. Dopamine and serotonin, they are also involved in some mental health conditions. So sometimes when there is excess release of dopamine, for example, persons tend to go down into a depressive state, or it can create what we call Alzheimer's, or what we call the shaking disease, which is Parkinson's.
Parkinson's.
Right, Parkinson's disease. So we have to be so careful of foods that we choose. And at the moment, sometimes we might be in a very sad mood, and it will drive us to eat foods that might be very unhealthy, maybe fatty foods or chocolate or sugary foods. Because research has shown that the excess consumption of processed foods, so ultra processed and processed foods like the canned stuff, those with a lot of additives and artificial ingredients, can cause us to go in a depressive state. So today, I just want to encourage the use of our natural foods. And that goes back to our fruits, our vegetables. And I'm so happy that at the beginning of the program, I heard Louis encouraging the use and the consumption of those foods. So in addition to that, we also need to include lean protein. And when I speak of lean protein, I speak of fish, I speak of lean meat, like your chicken, your meat, but it has to be lean. Because actually, when you eat those protein foods, it has what we call a type of amino acid that actually helps to release the serotonin that gives us that nice, happy feeling. In addition to that, we encourage the use of seeds and grains. So things like nuts and chia seeds and flax seeds, they are very important. They contain what we call the omega-3 fatty acids that also help in mental health and well-being as well.
So
So
Fadia,
sorry, go
Fadia,
ahead.
let me cut
Yes,
you short. You said chicken, but you're talking about lean so things like chicken backs is not lean lean meat. So a lot of us like chicken backs. So we have to reduce on that fatty part of
yes.
the
Or you
chicken.
can create it to be lean by removing all the visible fat that you can see, all
Oh.
the visible fat. So at
Mm-hmm.
the end of the cooking, I don't know how much you're going to get out of it, how much you're going to yield out of it. But when I speak of lean meat, I speak of those that have very limited fat, and those you can actually remove during the cooking process.
What about lamb neck? I
Oh,
know a lot
that
of people like lamb neck and it's very,
yes.
very fatty.
Fatty, yes. Lamb neck is also a very fatty food, and
Mm-hmm.
lamb neck or food from the mutton actually
Mm-hmm.
has what we call invisible fat. So in as much as you would have removed all the fat that you can see visibly, there are some fats that you cannot see. And if you want to test that, when you cook it, just allow it to stand and let it be cold. You will see all the fat settles at the top. And that really is the unsaturated, the bad fats. So
Okay.
again, what I can encourage is try to move all the visible fat that you can see and try to minimize frequency of consumption, or how frequent you eat lamb neck and the chicken back and those that may contain a lot of fat.
Thank you. Go on, Fadia.
Okay, so like I was alluding to earlier, there is a connection between the food that we choose to eat and mental health and wellness. And I was going back to our grains, right? And when you speak about grains, you speak about things like whole grain foods. So whole grain flour, whole grain cereals, nuts can fall into that category. Chia seeds can fall into that category. Flax seeds can fall into that category. Now, some persons might say eating healthy, and that comes up all the time. Yes, Louisa, we'll speak about the water in a little while.
No, I have chia seeds in the water because I really
Oh,
want to.
wonderful.
I'm
Wow.
trying my best because I keep on saying I cannot be speaking to people and talking about healthy eating habits when I'm not practicing it myself. So from June 1st, I started. I'm trying
Wonderful.
my utmost best.
Wonderful. I am
So
proud of you, Louisa. So you
thank
see,
you.
a simple way to incorporate seeds into your diet, you add it to your water. And I was just going a little further by saying if you want to add it to your salads, you want to add it to oats, you want to add it to a smoothie that you make, you want to add it to some cut up fruits, papaya, banana, whatever. You can add it to anything you so desire. So it becomes part of your diet, right? And the nuts, you can add nuts, eat it as a snack. You can add it to your salads. You can add it to your smoothie. For me, give me my nuts whole. My cashew nuts, the almonds, the peanuts. Yes, give it to me whole and I'm going to enjoy it. Right? Because of the omega-3, the protein out of those kinds of foods.
Fadia, you mean those nuts unsalted or salted? Fresh nuts?
So definitely we're talking healthy. So we're talking unsalted nuts.
Unsalted. And
Yes.
another thing I want to say is another thing I want to say is these things are so addictive. You know, you start eating the nuts and you cannot stop. And that's one of the issues. I mean, me trying to eat healthy has a problem. I mean, I have a packet of nut. When I purchase a big how you call it, $70 container of nuts, and I have to control myself, not to go back in that and eat it. So what do you
Yes.
say for people like me that really, when you start eating the nuts, you cannot stop?
Well, Louisa, there is what we call control. And with nutrition, there is balance, there is control, and there is portion. So you definitely have to discipline yourself some way, somehow, maybe portion it accordingly and
Mm-hmm.
use what you need, right? So
Mm-hmm.
definitely with nutrition, you have to strike a balance, but you
Thank
have
you.
to be disciplined. But the goodness of the nutrients in those food would just, it's so addictive. The same way the unhealthy food, some of them can be very addictive, like the sugary foods, they can be very addictive. The same way the wholesome, healthy ones can be addictive, like nuts. I can attest to that myself.
You love your
But
nuts.
we have to exercise discipline and or else, I mean, you don't want the issue of gaining excess weight because they do contain healthy fat,
Right.
but don't forget fat is fat.
Thank you.
Yes, definitely.
With that, Ulan.
Fat is fat, I know.
Oh.
Fat is
Fat
fat.
is fat, yes. I mean, there are good fats and there are bad fats, but when you look at it on a caloric level, 1 gram of fat can yield 9 kilocalories.
Oh,
Yes,
wow.
yes, and that is a lot. That's a
But I
lot of.
I don't I don't do nuts. Dude, I don't do
Okay, really?
You're allergic to it?
I don't eat
You
nuts.
Huh?
Nah.
he's allergic?
Don't quote Ulan on that one. Don't quote Ulan on that one. I think Ulan Brains is doing a 360 on
No,
us.
no, seriously.
Oh
Huh?
no. Okay, okay.
Uh, well,
Rasta don't know nuts.
all right. So that's a good
Yes.
thing to learn. Oh my God.
So yes, so definitely our choices, our food choices, mood and mental health are very interwoven, like I alluded to and have stressed on. So if let me tell the general population that even when you choose your foods, remember that it drives your mood, right? Sometimes, and even when you stay without food as well, it drives your mood. I don't know if you've heard of that old adage: a hungry man is an angry man. So
Yeah.
when you are hungry, your blood sugar level goes really low, and that can affect the way you behave, your mood. So even with that, we have to be careful. In between, we can have some healthy snacks like the nuts, the fruits, some grains. In addition to that, water is also essential part of a healthy diet. And and water is a nutrient, right? Some persons may feel that just the plain water is not palatable enough. So you can add some fruits to your water, and maybe you can follow Louisa and add some chia seeds or flax seeds into your water to make it more nutritious. In addition to all these other lifestyle practices, we also encourage physical activity. And of course, there is a link between mental health and physical activity. And I know persons who exercise, I personally can allude to the fact that when you exercise, you feel better, you feel more relaxed, there is less stress, less strain. So, physical activity, it doesn't matter what it is. We always encourage, and I know you've heard it already. Try to take the longer route instead of the elevator. Take the stairs. Stop a few steps away from your home instead of allowing the bus to drop you right at your doorstep. There are so many little things that we can do on a daily basis that can incorporate physical activity into our diets if some of us are very busy and may not be able to have a scheduled exercise regime.
So Fadia, it doesn't need to be harsh exercise, right? You
It
hearing me?
doesn't have to be. So
No,
as long as
fortunately.
you are moving, this is what.
The
Yes, I
cardio,
heard you, and I'm
cardio going.
sorry.
I say as long as you keep the cardio going.
Yes, most definitely. I mean, there are other levels of exercise, the resistance and the other training, and persons, they want to go to that next level. But just average, I mean, according to the World Health Organization, what they recommend is 30 minutes of physical activity for the week. So you don't have to do all 30 minutes at one time. Maybe in the morning you can do a 10 minutes, mid afternoon another 10, later on another 10 minutes. Because some persons really and truly really have to make a 30 minute to find that time to do a 30-minute straight exercise. But you can break it down. But as long as you're moving, you're physically active, you're at your desk, you get up, you do some stretches, you do some deep breathing exercises. Yes, so that is keep the cardio moving, like Ulan said. Yeah, keep
Especially for persons that have desk bounded jobs, they really need to sit, and do a little exercise in office and
mm-hmm,
don't be too caught up with the computer and doing their work. A little 10 minutes, like you said,
mm-hmm,
during the day, I mean, whilst at work, and a little 10 minutes during their lunch hour do go a very, very long way. And I was just looking at a few exercises on YouTube, you on your chair sitting down, there are a few little exercises you can do
mm-hmm,
that really helps out. I've been trying it because, I mean, by all means, I want other persons to try it too. So I myself have been trying it, and it really, really goes a long way. After that little 10-minute exercise or 15 minutes, your concentration level goes back up, and you're
definitely.
better able to, execute your duties even way, way better than, when you first started. So it really goes a long way, like you said, Fadia. I
Mm-hmm,
mean, just at your desk you can do those exercises. And another thing I meant to say to our listeners out there, in driving, sometimes coming to work or coming from work, I mean, we have so many beautiful views. um the scenery is beautiful in our country. You can take some time, a 10 to 15 minutes stop, and watch the scenery, do a little breathing exercise. It really, really goes a long way, and I'm encouraging persons to do such. You stop, you watch the sea, I mean the beaches, the mountains, all the greenery. It really, really clears your mind, especially after a hard day's work. All that benefits our mental health. It really clears the mind before you go home. I'm encouraging persons to at least practice this off and on. I mean, coming from work or coming to work after maybe you've had a hectic morning at home. It really goes a long way.
mm-hmm. Oh, definitely. I agree with you, Louisa, and all that falls nicely into mental health. Yes, you take time and you enjoy what is around you. You know, there are times I just sit at my balcony and just watch the ocean. I just
Yes.
watch the piton, maybe with a glass of smoothie. I just have that, and it feels so good. And we really have to take care of our mental health. And
Mm-hmm.
Louisa, do you realize the number of persons that have mental health issues? And there are times, and I would love that if the nurse was on the call to maybe further explain. But persons, when they have mental health or mental illness, they see persons as those on the streets, those begging, those,
Mm-hmm.
going crazy. But let me say something. It is a thin line between sanity and insanity. It is just a thin line. And we have to be so careful. And then, there is a stigma that is attached to when person of mental illness. You can say fool, fall. But I am telling you, Louisa, there are so many persons in our society that are going through mental health issues. And point two is, I remember I attended, I don't know if you were on that webinar last week, and there is help. There is help at the mental wellness center for persons that might just be going through depression and maybe going through a difficult piece in their life. And I was listening to the story of this guy, and he said everything was going for him, and he shared his story in public knowledge now. So I could, allude to that. And he said everything was going nice for him. And it's like at some point, there was just a turnaround. Things started going down, and then he suffered the loss of many of his family members and close friends. And that brought him into a depressive state to the point where he was, diagnosed as, like, the clinical diagnosis. He had to be on medication, and he had no test to go out there, and he was just withdrawn. He did not want to talk to anybody. And then he was so happy about the fact that the services within the Ministry of Health and Wellness helped him so much. And what struck me when he said that, he said when he came, he was so impressed with the professionalism at the place. And he was like, the other persons that he saw there, persons like teachers and lawyers and doctors that were there um, receiving the services themselves. So when we think about mental illness, it's not about the persons crazy on the street eating from the garbage bin. Any one of us, it can happen to any one of us, can just slip up into a depressive state and just go through that stage. So I am encouraging again, going back, ensuring that we take care of ourselves. Self-care is important. Like Louisa was saying, simply enjoy nature, or personally, you do little things for yourself. Just a pedicure, just a manicure, something that makes you feel good about yourself is important.
I agree with you, Fadia. I agree with you. And you know, like you said, nutrition plays an integral role in our overall health. And I find one of the issues I have with people is that they complain to say that eating healthy is very expensive. And I keep on saying to them, you have the fruits all around you. You have the fruits that are in season. Like for now, look at how many fruits that are in season. You have the
Mhm,
wax apple, you have the guava, you
mhm,
have the mangoes that are in
mhm.
season.
The
You
red
have the
plums are now in
plum,
season.
you have tamarind. I
Mhm.
mean,
Oh,
these things are all around you. I mean, some people have to purchase it. I mean, for
right.
persons like us in Choiseul and close communities where they have all these fruit trees. Maybe, some of us, we still have to purchase too.
Mhm.
But what I'm saying is, you have all these local fruits in season. You have all these things where you can, freeze and,
Mhm.
store it and, for later use. And then you see people keep on saying, oh, there are no fruits in season. But when there are fruits in season, there are those that are there in abundance. You can always store it. Oh, yeah, papaya.
Oh
Papaya
yes.
trees grows everywhere now.
Definitely.
You
Yes.
know, I mean, you could freeze your papaya, you could freeze your mango, for when they are not in season. You can always have them to do your smoothies during the year. So
Mhm.
persons look for excuses why they shouldn't eat healthy, but I think that we have all the healthy foods around us,
Yes.
and these things use little or no pesticides, no chemicals, because these things just grow wild, like the papaya now.
Mhm.
Everywhere you go, you see a papaya tree bearing all on the sides of the road. I mean,
Yes.
so you can find innovative ways to continue eating healthy throughout the year.
That's it.
So we want persons to start using their initiative. You see, during COVID, a lot of persons use the initiative as it
Mhm.
relates to eating healthy. And we
Right.
want persons to continue doing this. And I think that's the way to go. A lot of us lose track now that there is no, well, let me just not say that. Now that we're not on the lockdown, and persons have everything at their fingertip, they tend to forget about the healthy eating lifestyle that they had during
Mhm.
COVID. And we want to encourage persons to continue, you know
Mhm.
continue eating healthy, use your initiative, be creative, and so on. So I'm urging the
Mhm.
public
Mhm.
to go back to these days and try and do more research about healthy foods. Before, during COVID, a lot of people used to do all their research, find out what they can use
Mhm.
around them to create different dishes and so on. Why not now? Why
Mhm.
change? We want persons to get back to
Definitely.
that same habit they had before, but it seems a lot of
Definitely.
people have lost it.
Mhm. Definitely. And I agree with you so much, Louisa. We need to get back the same way COVID had us, creating different recipes. We need to use what is around us, the local foods. They are fresh, like you said, minimally processed, or they have no pesticides or minimal pesticides. And these are safe for us to eat. We should not be always on the go and just grabbing, eating our food from a paper bag. You know, get up early, prepare. There's something, we plan so many things. We plan our dress code for the day, right? And some of us, the only thing we don't plan is our meals, and that is so important to us. That is so important to our bodies, to nourish our bodies. We plan our hairstyles. We plan what dress we're going to wear, what color shoes we're going to wear, what makeup, what accessory goes with the clothes that we're going to wear or the dress. So how much more our body that is supposed to be important, our bodies that's supposed to keep healthy so that we have longevity. We need to plan our diet the same way. That is important. That is essential. If we want to live disease free, illness free, we need to do that. We need to go back to the basics and plan, what am I going to eat this afternoon? What am I going to have in the morning? What am I going to have in the evening? What snack am I going to eat? That is important. Yes.
That is so true, Fadia. I think many of us, especially us ladies, on the morning we plan, what we're going to wear and all
Yes.
what you said. But how many of us actually take time to plan what meal
What
we're
we're
going
going
to prepare for our family, or what we're going to send the children to school with?
to.
You understand? Or what foods we can prepare overnight. and to
Right.
send our children with a healthy meal to school instead of stopping by the supermarket or buying all these packaged foods and so
Mm-hmm.
on, or take some time to make a little local juice for our children instead of just buying
Definitely.
the box juice that is much much more convenient for us. I'm guilty of it too, I must admit, but I try my best not to. um these are things we can do. And again, we're in the flu season. There are so many fruits enriched in vitamin C. These are all the
Mm-hmm.
things we have to look at if we want to, you know, um, encourage our family to start eating healthy and so on. I
Definitely.
remember just recently a supermarket had pine hill juice um, on on special, and watch me. Oh my god, Belgian cherry juice. It's the flu season. Let me boost my body with vitamin C. And then my sister tell me, but Louisa, cherry in season. You're gonna
Exactly.
buy Belgian cherry juice, and we have cherry, our local cherry in
Cherry
season.
season.
I say,
Mm-hmm.
what? And
Mm-hmm.
I just had to put it back. You
Exactly.
understand? It doesn't even make sense. And these are the things we really have to look at. But
Mm-hmm.
some of us want to go through the trouble of preparing the juice ourselves. And
Yes.
these are the things, don't think of the all the work you have to do to prepare the juice, but think of,
The
the
long-term
the
benefits. Yeah.
long-term benefits of it, like you said.
Mhm.
And these are things we have to, I mean, as adults, we have to really introduce our children to it, these
Definitely.
kind of practices. So we want
Right.
to encourage our adults, like myself, our children mimic our behavior. So if
Mm-hmm.
you just bring box juice in the house, at the end of the day, when you tell them go and prepare local juice, they will never want to do it because you never do it yourself at home. And these
Definitely.
are things we need to, start encouraging, especially at our homes and,
Mm-hmm.
for our children too, and family, our husbands or wives. And it's not
Mm-hmm.
only the women, but the men also, let me just put that in, have to bring these same practices into the house, into
Definitely.
our homes.
I totally agree. Totally agree with you, Louisa. Definitely. Yeah. So as we come, I think, to a close, I just want to pinpoint some take home points or take home messages.
Go right ahead.
Yeah, so a healthy, balanced diet pattern with nutrient dense foods. Now, when we speak about nutrient dense foods, we're speaking about foods that are healthy, that are wholesome, not foods like sodas and soft drinks and those quick, fast, convenience foods. We're talking about nutrient dense, they are full of nutrients, right? So we want a healthy, balanced diet pattern with the nutrient dense foods that can help prevent and manage mental health disorders. So, healthy choices for mental health will include avoid added sugar, highly processed foods, right? And sugary beverages. You want to avoid those foods because remember, I said these foods can actually release what we call the dopamine that can cause us into depressive stages, right? So you want to avoid those ultra processed foods. You have to eat adequate fiber daily to promote your healthy gut. So, for example, like the whole grain foods, our peas and beans, our ground provisions, they are high in fiber. Our fruits, our vegetables, our grains, avocado, they contain a lot of fiber. And it is important for gut health. And the why gut health? Because the serotonin that I speak about, that is where most of it is being synthesized or being made in our gut. So we have to keep our gut healthy. And we have what we call the probiotics. So sometimes you get it in the yogurts as well to help with our gut. Eat adequate protein to provide building blocks for the neurotransmitters. Remember, I spoke about that earlier. A balanced diet that includes our fruits, our vegetables, whole grains, our legumes, our peas, our beans, nuts, seeds, fish, and other lean protein and healthy unsaturated fat. And make sure to get plenty of restful sleep and regular physical activity and exercise. So these are my take home points and messages. And I trust that, you know, to, starting today, you will take little steps. Try to drink a little more water. Try to eat a fruit a day. So all these are little steps that will come down to great benefits in the end.
Thank you so very much, Fadia. I think your take home messages were well said. And, many of us, we hear these messages almost all the time, almost every day, but yet still we do not take it seriously. We do not take it into consideration, at least put it part of our goals, um, you know, towards a healthy um, living or healthy lifestyle, practices. And many of us, these same things that, like Fadia said, when we start getting sick, or we're diagnosed with certain diseases or illnesses, one of the issues is that we start practicing these very same things that we have been speaking to you about. And that's when reality check. Sometimes, unless it's not at your doorstep, like I always said, like you're predisposed to certain diseases or you're on the borderline, that's when you don't really take this thing into consideration. But the message is out there to you. I mean, you hearing the information. It's up to you now to act. You understand? And start eating healthier and making better choices when it comes to your food. So I'm encouraging persons, to start small, like Fadia said, small steps, and eventually, gradually it becomes part of you. Because we do not expect behavioral change to come overnight. It takes time, and you have to set your mind to it. You understand? That must be something you really want to change. And we're really encouraging you to start eating healthy, for your physical and mental well being also. Many persons, they always feel that they're healthy, but sometimes because of the foods that you eat can really predispose you to certain illnesses. And we're encouraging everyone, make it your goal for this year and start eating healthy. Like we said, the healthy foods are all around you if you just eat the right portions and you manage what you eat and don't go overboard based on certain foods. I think, like Fadia said, that can really, really help you health wise in the long run. So, again, I would like to thank Fadia for coming on the program with us. And again, she's always welcome, I must admit, giving us some very, very good information out there. I also would like to thank Erlan for assisting us, as well as Romanus for his technical assistance, and so on. So, again, our listeners, what's up with me again? Our listeners, let me say thank you so very much. We would really like persons to call in, to give feedback, and whatever topics they would really, really like to hear about, and so on. And calling or making comments, goes a long way for us on the program, because we really like to improve on the information that we put out there for you. And what I mean, sometimes you might have an issue and you might be, skeptical about seeking medical attention. And if you ask about the thing and we explain to you, maybe you might decide to seek medical attention right away based on what you've been hearing from us. So, again, thank you. And I do wish everybody a blessed week and take care.
Yeah. Thank you so very much. Thank you, Louisa. Thank you,
Welcome.
Ilan, for being a great host as usual, and your technical team. Thank you for having me on the program today, and I look forward again to coming and educate the general population. So do have a great one, and don't forget to remember our activity, our health fair
Mm-hmm.
that is going to be held at the Center of Excellence in Mikud on Friday this week. So you can come along, maybe if you have friends over on the other side, Mikud and the surrounding areas, encourage them to go and be part of this health activity. So once again, thanks again and have a great day.
Thank you, Fadia.
You to enjoy.
For now. Okay, take care. Bye
9
bye.
to 11 a.m. with the consultant. Health is not merely the absence of disease.